Hello world! Today I've got for you part one of a series that I've put together on anti-aging skincare ingredients. Say that 10 times fast. Hey everybody, Shelly here, and today I'm going to bring to you part one of a series that I've been working on anti-aging skincare ingredients. Now, I have spent the last 2 to 3 years, trying out all different kinds of skincare ingredients for the purposes of both reversing some of the damage that has occurred to my skin throughout the years of not paying proper attention to it, and to prevent future damage from occurring to my skin, if at all possible. Now, I am 41 years old. I highly regret not paying more attention to anti-aging skincare earlier. I started paying a little bit of attention at around the age of 35, but I still wasn't very consistent with it, and I didn't get into the, sunscreen every day bandwagon until really the last 3 or 4 years. I really wish I would have started sooner, because most of the damage that we do to our skin, including sun damage, happens after the age of 18. So we can't even go back and blame our parents for not putting sunscreen on us before sunscreen was really a thing. It's just one of those things that the earlier you start paying attention to this, the better. So I started out by trying all different products. I just bought a whole bunch of stuff, tried it. Some things worked, some things didn't work. I had no rhyme or reason to what I was doing, when I was doing it, what order I was applying things in, what I did in the morning versus what I did at night. I didn't know any of that stuff. The trial and error method, it may work for you. If it does, I'm so happy for you. It really didn't work for me. So then I started getting interested in, all right, well, what's in these products? What am I putting on my face? What am I putting on my body? Is there a rhyme or reason to how I'm supposed to be doing this? And it turns out there is a rhyme and a reason, and that's what I'm going to try to decode for you guys in this series, so that you can make some decisions on what skincare you might need or want in your life, and then can hopefully find products that you like. Now, you're still going to have trial and error, because even if a product has the most fantastic ingredient list, it's not necessarily going to work for you. Maybe you just don't see the results you're expecting to see. Maybe there's a bizarre botanical ingredient that breaks you out. Maybe the product is too heavy for your skin type, or too light for your skin type, or not moisturizing enough. Lots of things. So you're still going to have some trial and error, but I think you will save yourself a whole lot of time, a whole lot of money, and a whole lot of hassle by making some educated guesses as to what's going to work for you, and then trying those products first. So let's get into it. So this series is going to consist of a few different parts. One of the first parts we're going to get into are cell communicating ingredients like retinol and niacinamide. That's what we're going to cover today. In future videos, we're going to get into antioxidants like your green tea and your grapeseed and your vitamin C. We're going to get into alpha hydroxy acids and all of the kinds of peels that you can do. We're going to get into skin identical ingredients like ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Then we're going to go over some of the miscellaneous ingredients, alcohols and things like that, what they mean for your skincare. Sunscreen, of course, is the absolute number one anti-aging thing you can do for your skin. I have done a couple of videos already on sunscreen. I will link them in the down bar below, so definitely check those out. I'm not going to cover sunscreen again in this video series, but I will be linking to all of the sunscreen videos that I have done down below in the down bar, so be sure to check those out if you have not already. I go into sunscreen ingredients, physical versus mineral sunscreens, all that kind of good stuff, and what sunscreen is, what it does, how it works, why you should wear it. Every day, people. Every day. Every day. So the way this series is going to work, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the ingredients, what they do, why you want to look for them, alternate names, things you might want to look for on an ingredient label, and then share with you some of the products that I have tried that have these ingredients. I'll tell you which ones I love, which ones I like, which ones I don't like. And then to wrap this whole thing up, I will put together my current morning and evening routines and explain what I'm using, why I'm using it, and put all that into one place. So that's kind of where we are and where we're going with this whole thing. So today we're going to talk about cell communicating ingredients. Now, some of the ingredients we talk about throughout this series are going to fall into multiple categories, which is totally fine. But for example, antioxidants and cell communicating ingredients, they can be the same. But I'm breaking them down that way just for ease of breaking them down. So cell communicating ingredients are what they sound like. They're ingredients that communicate with the cells in your body, and they either tell them to stop making bad cells or mutant cells or damaged cells and start making better good cells instead. Ingredients that fall into the cell communicating category are things like retinol and synthetic peptides and niacinamides. Now, today we're going to talk primarily about retinol and niacinamide, but I mentioned synthetic peptides. They're going to come up a few times. Peptides applied topically, if they're natural source peptides, generally can't penetrate the skin and give you the benefits that you might be looking for. They need more research, both synthetic and natural. Synthetic peptides have been put together and bound to a fatty acid so that they can penetrate your skin better, and they may have some benefits with cell repair and skin barrier protection, but more research is needed on them. So while we will say whenever peptides are in some of these products, primarily we're looking for retinol and niacinamide today. So let's start with retinol. What is it? It is derived from vitamin A, and it is one of the most highly researched ingredients in terms of anti-aging skincare on the market today. You may find people saying, well, it's outdated, it's been around the longest. Well, it's been around the longest, and it's been clinically proven to work. So I don't see anything bad about that. That sounds wonderful to me. Proven to work doing what, you ask? So many good things. Retinol can help diminish fine lines and wrinkles. It can help with your skin tone, including decreasing hyperpigmentation and sunspots. It can reduce crepiness in your skin. I tend to start getting it under my eyes especially. It can help with sagging skin to help firm things up. It is a great clinically proven anti-aging ingredient. Retinol is also considered an exfoliating ingredient. It helps with cell turnover, but that also can be slightly irritating because you are causing your skin to, the dead skin to come off and the fresh skin to be revealed. So it might take a little bit of time for your skin to get used to retinol treatments. And if that is the case, then the recommendation is really that you start with a, every 3 days or every other day application as opposed to every day or twice a day, and then increase as your skin gets more comfortable with the process. One thing I find very interesting about retinol is that it works best in the dark. You will find all kinds of retinol containing products that are intended for morning or nighttime use, but since it works best in the dark, in my personal routine, I focus my best retinol products on my evening skincare so that because it works best in the dark, I will use it at nighttime and then it can hopefully do its best work. You also should be looking for retinol in products that have opaque or really dark colored bottles because light can affect the chemical itself, and you don't want to be using a product that is less effective than you expect it to be. There are a couple of versions of retinol that you'll see. You'll see the word retinol itself. You'll see retinol palmitate, with a YL instead of an OL in retinol. And you'll see retinol linoleate. The latter two, the palmitate and the linoleate, are two forms of retinol that are effective. They're a little less harsh than retinol OL. However, they are a little less effective as well. But if you find that your skin is very sensitive to retinol, you may still be able to get the benefits from products containing the YL versions of the ingredients. A little less effective, but a little less harsh to your skin. And lastly, with retinol, you will generally want to follow your retinol product with moisturizer that contains ceramides and niacinamide. We will talk about ceramides in a future video, but niacinamide is up next. But let's talk about some of the products that I've used that contain retinol and what I think of them. Quick disclaimer, some of these products that I'm going to show you contain parabens as their preservative ingredient. Now, if you saw my video on facial cleansing cloths and the ingredients in those, I went over all kinds of information about preservatives, parabens, other preservatives. If you're avoiding parabens, then I will note from what I can tell which ones contain parabens, but please read the ingredient labels yourself to be sure. But I will note what has parabens in them whenever I know that. So one of the very first retinol containing products that I ever tried was the Neutrogena Ageless Intensives line. And these products have retinol and antioxidants. This one in particular is my favorite. It is the Deep Wrinkle Anti-Wrinkle Serum. There's also a set of night creams and moisturizers that go along with this line. This product, oh, there's a cat on the desk. So the Ageless Intensives serum comes in an opaque bottle, which is good. I also like that it has a pump. And the serum itself, might help if I turn the cap, is a light sort of a cream. It's not a liquidy sort of serum. It's a cream sort of a serum. My hands are going to look great after this. I had started using this serum with its associated night cream moisturizer, which we will talk about moisturizers in a future video, and I had really good results. This was, like I said, the first retinol product that I ever bought. I used it probably 4 years ago. I started using it, and when I first got religious about using it every single day, after a few months, I started getting really good compliments from people that my skin looked great, and I was taking photos with no filter. It was wonderful. So when I ran out of this product and went to look for more, I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find it online. I couldn't find it at CVS where I had previously bought it. I couldn't find it at any drugstore or Target or Walmart or anywhere. And I assumed that they discontinued it. And then I tried other products. So the next product that I moved to after that, which I was very happy with the Ageless Intensives, so I only left it because I ran out and couldn't find it again. So then I switched, based on what the interwebs told me, to the Olay Regenerist line. So this is their regenerating serum, and this is their micro sculpting serum. And this is their micro sculpting cream. It's a night cream moisturizer. Now, because I had not really done any research at this point aside from reviews from people, I did not realize that the Regenerist line isn't necessarily a retinol-based line. It has niacinamide and other ingredients that are good stuff, but I was really disappointed in it because I felt like I was not having the same kind of results that I was getting from my Neutrogena, and I really just wasn't pleased with it. But now that I know what's in it and what these things do, I believe that my skin was reacting really well to the retinol in the Neutrogena Ageless Intensives line, and I had taken that out of my routine when I switched to Olay. So I went back to trying to find a retinol-based product that I would like. So my first stop was the drugstore because I would love to find products that don't cost a fortune that worked well. And the first retinol serum I had tried was from CeraVe, and this is their skin renewing cream serum, and it's got a retinol and ceramide complex. We will talk about ceramides in the future. The problem with this product, and it's not really a problem, it's just a personal preference, comes in a pump, it is opaque, it's this really strange sort of like yellow color. It smells kind of weird, kind of nutty, but not nutty, stale nutty. It's sort of thick, it's thicker than the Neutrogena Ageless Intensives, but it does, spread out and soak in nice and quickly. But I didn't like the fragrance. I didn't really like how it felt. I didn't feel like it was doing a whole lot for my skin, though I will admit right off the bat that I did not give it a dedicated 4 to 6 weeks. I probably used it for 3 weeks before I decided, I'm not really a big fan of this stuff. I do recommend giving any product 4 to 6 weeks before you judge it based on whether it's working for you or not. If you have other problems, an ingredient irritates you or you break out from it, don't use it for 6 weeks. But if you're really just looking to see how well it's working for you, give it some time. These things really don't work overnight. They just don't, unfortunately. So next, still at the drugstore, I tried out the Boots number 7 Protect and Perfect Intense Advanced Serum. Now, I really like this serum, and I will tell you that even though I'm not using it as my primary retinol serum anymore, this does make a really good primer under makeup, so I've kind of switched to using this in the morning, even though I generally don't use retinol in the morning. But here's the thing with the Boots. The Boots number 7 is a product that has the retinol palmitate, so the YL instead of the OL in the retinol, and it's not as effective for me. Now, this one has been clinically shown to work, at least that's what their advertising says, and I'm sure it does, but I want more. And maybe that's just me. So if you are sensitive or you're doing this 10, 15 years younger than I was, this might be a really good one because it has a great texture. It wears really, really well underneath makeup. It just has the weaker version of retinol ingredients. And of course, none of these over-the-counter ingredients are as strong as a prescription retinol. I'm not there yet. I'm hoping I can make it another 10 years before I have to start getting into the prescription versions of some of these ingredients. But I do highly recommend the Boots number 7 Protect and Perfect Intense, but it's a little less effective than the experience I had with the Neutrogena Ageless Intensives. So then I decided it was time to get serious and spend some money. And again, reading a whole bunch of reviews, I ended up with the DDF Skincare Pro Retinol Complex 3 Moisturizer. And the ingredients on this looked great because it contains retinol, it also has vitamin C, good antioxidant, which we'll get to in a future video, and niacinamide, which is a good thing to follow up a retinol treatment with. I wanted to love this. It has a really nice texture to it. It doesn't have any sort of unpleasant smell. It's a banana yellow sort of thin moisturizer lotion. A little thicker than the serums, but thinner than a hardcore like day cream or night cream. I like it. It just didn't seem to pack a punch for its price because it was up there. I think it was $68. It didn't seem to pack a $68 punch, at least not compared to the Neutrogena that I was used to, and I knew what the results were, and I just couldn't seem to get them to happen again. So I pulled out my wallet. You know we always end up pulling out our wallets. But on the bright side, I found a product that I have now been using for about 3 months. I am incredibly happy with it. It has more than just retinol in it. It has a few things. This is an independent brand called Sabbatical Beauty, and it's actually a Korean-inspired skincare line. And this particular product is Dorian Gray's Anti-Aging Serum. And in it, we've got retinol and vitamin C, ceramides, antioxidants, no parabens, and I have found, and there's a bunch of botanical extracts and all kinds of other good stuff in here. The sort of selling point for Sabbatical Beauty is that they've got maximum active ingredients and no fillers. None of the chemical crap that is not necessary for these products. It's not going to have a 5-year shelf life because it doesn't have all of those preservatives and other things in it. But it does come in a dark glass bottle, which is good for retinol. And if you keep it further protected in a cabinet from light, you're probably going to have good results with it. I love it. It is doing lots of good things for my skin. It is helping my skin tone. It is helping decrease the lines and wrinkles that I have going on, my crow's feet around my eyes, my smile lines and my laugh lines on my forehead and around my mouth. I really like it. And in 3 months' time to have results that I feel are comparable to what I was getting in the past, I'm really happy about it. It's not cheap. It's pushing the $100 mark. It's not cheap. But if you look at how much I've used, my bottle is right here, and it's been 3 months. So I'm getting good use out of it. The other thing that happened that made me very happy was I found my Neutrogena! I saw it on the shelf at CVS about a month ago, and I was super, super excited to see it. So I'm actually using this again in combination with the Dorian Gray. I'm putting this on, following it with this serum, and then continuing with my moisturizing. Another brand I really like for retinol products is Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the ferulic acid and retinol serum. He's got a moisturizer with a similar sort of formulation. This particular set that I got from Sephora, it comes with the moisturizer, eye cream, and the brightening solution. Didn't work out very well for me because honestly I think I got a really old batch. The box it came in was really dusty and beat up and looked like it was dirty and worn on the edges, and it looked like it had been sitting on the shelf for years. And then I wasn't super impressed with these particular products, and I have a feeling I just got a really old batch because the reviews are fantastic. The ingredient list is fantastic. I have other Dr. Dennis Gross products that I really, really love. I will say that the ferulic and retinol moisturizer is one of my favorite scented moisturizers. If you like scent, it's kind of citrus. And it's a really light moisturizer, which for me, I don't like as much because I use these products at night because they've got retinol in them and I have really dry skin, so I like a heavier moisturizer cream at night. So if you want a lighter cream, if you've got normal to oily skin, you might actually like this because it is a pretty light formula for a moisturizer. But those are all of the retinol products, or at least most of the retinol products I have tried. There are many more, but they don't even make the cut. So next, let's talk about niacinamide, aka vitamin B3. You might see it on labels as nicotinic acid. Those are all just names for the same thing. So if you see vitamin B3, niacinamide, or nicotinic acid, you are all talking about the same thing. This ingredient improves elasticity in your skin, enhances the barrier function of your skin to prevent, pollutants and other damaging elements from the air and the water and all the good stuff that comes in contact with our face from impacting our skin in a negative way. It also helps even skin tone, and this is a fairly recent, I don't want to say discovery, but a fairly recent use of niacinamide, not only to help with hyperpigmentation, but also to help with hyperpigmentation caused from, a post-inflammatory response. So like, let's say you had acne and you had redness resulting from the acne after the acne healed. The niacinamide will help reduce the redness from that inflammatory response that your skin had. So lots of good things happening with niacinamide. Now, when you use retinol, it is a good idea to follow it with a niacinamide, which is usually an ingredient you're going to find in moisturizers. Now for niacinamide, some of the products that I like, the DDF again comes with niacinamide in it, so it is both retinol and niacinamide in there. Now this is where the Olay Regenerist products can come in and work really well. So if you've used a retinol product, you can follow it with the Olay Regenerist products. What you get out of these: peptides, hyaluronic acid, which we will talk about soon, and niacinamide. So I wasn't feeling great results with this compared to retinol, but what I really needed to know was retinol still had to be part of my routine. These make a good follow-up. Another moisturizer that I really like for the niacinamide ingredient is the CeraVe PM facial lotion, moisturizing lotion for normal to dry skin. The PM version of this is a time-release version, but I actually prefer to use it in the AM. It's a pretty light formula in terms of moisturizers. It's not very heavy or thick at all, which is why personally I don't want to use it at night. I'd rather use it during the day, but it works really well under makeup, which is good. And you also get ceramides, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid with this. Now this does contain parabens, so same with the Olay Regenerist. It does contain parabens as the preservative ingredient, but if you're not worrying about them, which in some cases, you know, I try to avoid the bad and use the good, and in some cases I just can't avoid all of it. So that's where I live on those topics. That's where I live. So I really like this, the PM formula for an AM moisturizer underneath makeup. So there's our two skin communicating ingredients for the day, retinol and niacinamide. And generally you are looking to find these ingredients as close to the top of the list as possible. The top 10 ingredients on a product really are the ones that have the highest concentration. And honestly, you're really looking top 6 if you can. In some cases, the ingredients are never going to be in that concentration, alcohols and things like that, or probably won't be. But the more good you can get in a product, the better. And the higher to the beginning of the list of ingredients, the higher the concentration is. And again, most of these products over the counter is going to be far less concentrated than any prescription version of these products. But we're going to deal with the over-the-counter versions, at least until I'm old enough to switch over to prescriptions. Let's hope I have another 10 years. Please, please, at least, please. There you have it, part 1 of the anti-aging skincare ingredients series featuring skin communicating ingredients, retinol and niacinamide. Woohoo! Hope you found this useful. If so, please give me a thumbs up below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you guys for taking a lot of minutes out of your day to hang out and geek out over skincare ingredients. Let's keep ourselves looking as young and radiant as possible for as long as possible. Thanks for spending some time with me. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.